Hey guys, and welcome to my podcast. Today, as you can see in the title, is Truth, Truth, Lie. I'm going to tell you 3 different stories, 2 of which will be the truth, and 1 will be the lie, and you guys have to guess which one is the lie. And I will release in my next podcast which one was actually the lie. So, after each story, I'm going to cut recording and I'll start again, because I need to recap, make sure I've got the story correct in my head and all that sort of stuff. So, I'm just going to start off with a story about my dad, and when I was in Spain. So, I was about 9 at the time, I'd say. Maybe I was 10. No, I was 9. And I was sitting, you know, if you go to a skydive place, you've got it's called a skydive centre, you've got the drop zone, and you've got the main area in which people work. Well, we had a full airfield to ourselves, and the drop zone was a field next to us. And along the airfield, we've got hangars for the planes to go in, and we had the hangar at the very bottom. We could have used the others, but we weren't that big of a place. Well, my dad wasn't that big of a place. He got regular customers, we just weren't big enough to need all the other hangars. So we just left them closed with planes, extra things and rubbish, all that kind of stuff in. And in the main hangar at the end where we used, there's it's split in, I'd say 1/3 of it is just divided from the rest at the very back by a little wall my dad put up. So there's a bit of privacy for him to his projects, his work that he's got going on back there and doing his stuff. That's where I was sitting, and I was sitting there actually watching the TV, and it was in Spanish, so it wasn't too entertaining, but you get the point. I was sitting there, and my dad was in the air, and he was skydiving, and I've seen it many times at this point. It's nothing new, so I'm at the point where it's fine for me to just sit in the hangar, do my own thing, and it's not exciting to watch him skydive anymore. Well, it is exciting, it's just less thrilling, I guess, so I'm just chilling in the hangar now. But anyway, he's skydiving, and it's actually a competition. So he's skydiving with a couple of other people, going one by one, giving at least 20-second intervals through each jump to make sure that no one clashes, because they have to land in a specific area where there's these 2 really giant mouse mats. And when I say really, really giant, I mean from the floor up to your kneecaps. It was pretty high up, and he had to land just on them. That was the competition, really. And you did it a couple of times, skydiving into different areas, onto a platform in water and stuff like that. But the first one was in the drop zone that we had, and my dad was coming in, and as he landed, just between where these 2 mats were pushed together, there was a little bit, just a little hole. His right, was it his right? Yeah, his right foot, his right leg got and just stuck straight in there. And his other leg didn't do that. His other leg split off, so he's slowly doing the splits. And as his leg went in there, he has still got the entire force of him falling down with the parachute on him. So that's quite a lot of force going forward with the parachute. That is actually a really lot of force. So he's going forward like that, and as he goes forward, his leg is slowly starting to bend, and he ends up breaking his leg doing that. And it was, I just remember I heard some accident had happened involving my dad. I rushed down there to see, and all I saw was an ambulance pulling away. Turns out my dad got in it, and I was like, wait, what's happening to me? So my mum had to come and pick me up. No, that's a lie. Jono was one of my dad's mates, picked me up and took me to my mum's house. Not my mum, my parents' house, where I lived, my house, whatever you want to call it. God, I'm screwing this story up. But it turned out that as my dad landed, his leg didn't snap forward. He wasn't just going straight forward and it just snapped forward, so his entire leg was basically snapped in half. Apparently what happened was he was going forward, his leg got caught in there when he was going forward, but he managed to sort of turn his entire body to the right So when it snapped, it was more in a bendable way. You know, like, you can bend your knee, like, up to your ass. He managed to get it so it was sideways, and it only slightly managed to bend, but then it snapped, and it broke. He got a fracture in his bone, and it sort of broke, or something along those lines. I can't remember, but I remember he was in my house with a cast on for a good couple of weeks, doing absolutely nothing. And I was there, just taking care of him whenever I was at home, and oh god, it was horrible. But that's my first story. Now, let me go recap my second story. Hey guys, okay, for the second story, it's gonna be about a police chase I saw happen right before my eyes, and I was semi-involved. I'll get to that in a second. First I'm going to say is my dog is actually in my room now. He was moaning, so I had to bring him up. So if you hear any chewing of a bone or something, that's what he's doing. Anything that I'm not doing is what he's doing. Any foreign sounds. But yeah, anyway, let's get to it. So one day I was cycling home from high school. So this was quite a while ago. It's while I lived where I am right now. So it was before I did YouTube, because I started YouTube when I started college, roughly the same time. But I was cycling home from high school, and there's this like crossroads junction. You know how you get two roads that cross each other? It was one of them, basically, but a little bit screwed up. You know, it's not an actual X, but it's more of some screwed up thing, I don't know. But I was cycling home and the traffic lights came on for me to stop, so I stopped. All the cars stopped and I pulled out round to the side in the middle of the road to just skip ahead of all the cars, and went all the way up to where the traffic lights were, because I was about 2 cars behind from the traffic lights, I think it was. And all of a sudden I see this complete nut job behind me also pulled out just as what I was doing. He pulled out from behind and he went completely into the opposite side of the road. So cars are coming at him, that's where they're coming from. But this car just pulled out. He did just sort of skim my handlebars. So I like moved my handlebars, like forcefully moved my handlebars, so I didn't get injured or anything, but there was a sudden movement of my hands. But this guy, for some reason, decided to just take off randomly out of the blue. I mean, he was behind me for like, I don't know, 20 seconds or something. Oh, shush, dog. But for some reason he just took off, went straight through the red traffic lights, and there was this police car. Well, there was these 2 policemen just outside their police car, and they were just talking about their job, and it's like, oh, this job's boring most of the time, no action or anything. This car all of a sudden pulls out, because I can hear them. I'm just on my bike, I haven't got any headphones in or anything. I can hear everything they're saying, because they're right next to me, just to my right, in like a little dead end, like, I don't know what it's called, alleyway, street, I don't know, but it just goes down and it's dead end for a little bit. Their car's just parked there, and they're sitting there, they're just chatting like, oh, this job's got no action, it's boring, but at least we keep people safe and keep people assured, and, you know, talking like that. They're saying the job is mainly just them sitting around doing shit all, but they keep people safe and all that, so they're like validating why their job is good, at the same time very boring. And then all of a sudden this car pulls out and goes through the traffic lights, opposite side of the road, and they're just like, oh shit, we better get in the car, this is my favourite part. So one of the cops actually just said, this is my favourite part of my job. The second those sirens go on, let's start this thing. And then they just take off and go after him. And then they're around the corner, and that's the end of the story. But it was so random that the car behind me just decided to pull out and go. I'd love to gone with them and find out what that was all about when they caught him. If they caught him, he might have got away, you never know. I don't think it reached the news or anything, but yeah, that's my second story. Now let me recalibrate. I don't know. Let me think of the third story. Okay guys, I'm back with the third story now. This one takes place at an age where I can't recall anything, so it should be quite interesting. I think I was about 5 years old. No, probably about 3 years old, 4 years old. You know, around that age range. I was really young. But like I said, I can't remember much. Most of the details are a blur, but I remember I was pulling up with my mum in a car in either California or Hollywood, where I met my dad outside some of the studios, and he gave me a t-shirt signed by one of the James Bonds, one of the 007 characters. I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was the one where they go skiing. It's mainly in snow and they go skiing and there's these things in the air and people shooting down and explosions and stuff like that, and lots of action, mainly snow and ski from what I can remember of the movie, but I think that was the main one they were doing. But he met me with a signed t-shirt, and it actually fit me. So it's not like a signed adult t-shirt for my dad or my mum or anything like that. But I remember quite well that part, and then the rest is a bit of a blur, but I think I remember we went inside the studio, and I wasn't allowed to like go up and meet any of them, and at this point I didn't really care. To me they were just people. I didn't know anything about celebrities or anything like that, and I didn't really give two craps. But I do remember seeing them actually record a scene for James Bond. Oh, this dog is just... God, be quiet. But they were recording a scene for James Bond, and I remember something happened, people laughed, and then James Bond and whoever else was on the scene, I don't know who else was on the scene, walked off, and they went into this like little trailer, I think it was, maybe like I don't know, like a little room trailer type thing, and just went in there, and I don't remember seeing him come back out, but I think we left shortly after that because it was my dad's time there up, and he was heading home now. So we were coming to pick him up, but that, from what I can remember, is all the stuff there. I'm pretty sure that's the full story, but I'll let you guys decide if that was the truth, as well as the other two, which ones were true, and which one was the single lie. See if you can spot it, and I guess write it in the comment section. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I will reveal the truth in which story was a lie and had a bit truth in it, but the story started off truthful, but then I guess I decided to make it a lie. And then another story started off as a lie and then went into truth. So, yeah, not the best idea. One of them was the full truth. One of them, and then two others were half truth, half lie, but the lie part in one of them was pretty obvious, I think. But we'll see which one you guys get. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will reveal the answer in the next podcast. Keep on gaming.